Let's start with a question. Have you ever felt like you're in a battle not against the world, but against something deeper, more sinister inside you? That force, the one pulling you into chaos, pain, or despair, is what many call evil. It isn't always about some grand villain or external threat. Sometimes it's a whisper in your own mind, a pull towards selfishness, anger, or fear. What if I told you that this force could not only be controlled but also transformed into a power that elevates you to a godlike state of being? Imagine for a moment, what does it mean to be godlike? Is it having supreme power over others? Or is it something much deeper, like mastering the forces within yourself, transcending limitations, and reshaping the world not with brute force, but with unparalleled wisdom and control? To embark on this journey, we have to first recognize the nature of evil. Evil, in its essence, isn't just some cosmic anomaly. It's a shadow of potential. It's a shadow of potential. It's the misdirected energy of creation. Every destructive act, every harmful impulse, begins as raw power seeking expression. The problem arises when that power is misaligned with purpose. Now, here's the profound twist. The greatest tool you have to control evil lies in your ability to channel this energy into creation, not destruction. It sounds simple, but most people fail to grasp the implications. When you suppress, avoid, or fear these darker parts of yourself, they grow stronger. Like an untamed beast, they lash out, overpowering you. But when you confront and understand them, you can redirect that energy towards something extraordinary. Think of the ancient gods and mystics from mythology. Zeus wielding lightning, Shiva embracing destruction, or Odin sacrificing an eye for wisdom. These are not tales of beings who denied their shadows. They mastered them.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
So how do you begin this process? Start by observing your own impulses. I'm serious. Take a moment right now. Think about the last time you acted in anger or fear. Did you lash out at someone? Did you retreat into yourself? That moment wasn't just a failure. It was a signal, a message from your shadow. And the first step to becoming godlike is to listen to that message without judgment. Ask yourself, what was this part of me trying to protect? What did it want? You'll often find that behind every destructive impulse lies a kernel of something sacred. Maybe your anger was a cry for respect. Maybe your fear was a plea for safety. These are primal forces, and when you recognize them for what they truly are, they stop being your enemies. They become tools. Here's where it gets really deep. To control evil, you don't fight it, you integrate it. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, called this process shadow work. The shadow isn't just the bad stuff you hide from others. It's also your untapped potential, your courage, creativity, and strength buried under layers of shame and fear. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I most ashamed of? What part of me do I fear showing to the world? That's where your journey begins, because in that place lies your greatest power. As we continue, I want you to imagine this. What if you could take that power, the energy of your shadow, and mold it into something extraordinary? Instead of suppressing your anger, you could channel it into unshakable determination. Instead of drowning in fear, you could use it to sharpen your instincts. Instead of succumbing to greed, you could transform it into boundless ambition to serve others. This process isn't easy. It requires you to confront the darkest parts of yourself. But think about this, isn't the alternative worse? Living a life where you're constantly at war with yourself, running from your own potential? That's not freedom. That's a cage. So how do you start? Begin with this simple practice the next time you feel a strong emotion, especially one you'd normally label as bad or evil. Pause. Don't react. Instead, ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? What would happen if I embraced this feeling instead of pushing it away? Here's the catch: this isn't about indulging in destructive behavior. It's about understanding the root of your impulses. And when you do, you'll find that these so-called evil forces are just raw power, waiting for direction. The difference between a wildfire and a controlled burn is intention. Now that you've begun the process of confronting and listening to the shadow within you, the question becomes, what's next? How do you take that raw, chaotic energy and shape it into something divine? This is where the real transformation begins. Controlling evil is one thing, but to ascend into a godlike state, you must go beyond control. You must master the interplay of creation and destruction within yourself. Let's return to the analogy of fire. Fire can destroy an entire forest, but it can also forge steel, cook food, and light the darkness. The difference lies in how it is wielded. To master your inner fire, you need two things: discipline and purpose. Let's break this down. Discipline is often misunderstood. Most people think of it as rigid self-control, but that's only the surface. True discipline is about alignment. It's about ensuring that every action, every thought, every impulse serves a higher purpose. Without discipline, even the most powerful energy will scatter, dissipating into chaos. But with discipline, you can channel that energy into something extraordinary. Now, I know what you're thinking: how do I develop this kind of discipline? The answer lies in cultivating self-awareness and practicing intentionality. Every morning, before you start your day, ask yourself one powerful question: what kind of person do I want to be today? Don't just think about tasks or goals. Think about your essence, your energy. Do you want to embody calm strength, fierce determination, compassionate wisdom? By setting this intention, you give your inner fire direction. But discipline alone isn't enough. To truly harness your inner power, you also need purpose. And here's the thing: purpose isn't something you find. It's something you create. Most people spend their lives waiting for a moment of divine clarity, hoping that their purpose will reveal itself. But the truth is, your purpose emerges from the choices you make every day. It's not a singular destination, it's a path. Ask yourself this: what kind of world do I want to create? This question is crucial because it shifts your focus from yourself to something greater. When your energy is aligned with a purpose beyond your own desires and fears, you unlock a level of power that's almost limitless. This is the essence of divinity, not domination, but creation. Now let's talk about a critical challenge you'll face as you walk this path: resistance. The closer you get to mastering your inner power, the more resistance you'll encounter, both from within and from the world around you. Your old patterns will try to pull you back. Doubts will creep in, whispering that you're not strong enough, not worthy enough. The world may even push back, challenging your resolve. When this happens, remember, resistance is a sign that you're on the right path. Think about it. A seed doesn't grow into a mighty tree without breaking through the soil. Steel isn't forged without enduring intense heat. The moments when you feel the most resistance are the moments when you're closest to transformation. Here's a practice to help you navigate resistance whenever you feel overwhelmed or tempted to give up. Pause and ask yourself, what is this challenge trying to teach me? Every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's pushing you to dig deeper into your reserves of strength, or maybe it's forcing you to confront a part of yourself you've been avoiding. This brings us to an even deeper truth. To become godlike, you must embrace both light and shadow. Think of it this way: creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. The seasons change, the tides rise and fall, and even stars are born from the collapse of massive cosmic forces. Why should your inner world be any different? To master your inner power, you must learn to dance with both forces. When you're creating, don't fear the chaos that often precedes it. And when you're destroying, whether it's an old habit, a toxic relationship, or a limiting belief, do it with intention and grace. Destruction isn't inherently evil. It's a necessary part of growth. Now, let's get practical. Here's an exercise you can try today. Think of one aspect of your life that feels chaotic or destructive. Maybe it's a habit you want to break, a fear you want to overcome, or a relationship that's draining your energy. Write it down. Then, beneath it, write 3 ways you could channel that energy into something constructive. For example, if you struggle with anger, could you use that intensity to fuel a workout or creative project? If fear is holding you back, could you turn it into curiosity and explore the unknown step by step? If you feel overwhelmed by greed or desire, could you redirect that hunger toward learning, growing, or helping others? The point of this exercise isn't to suppress or deny your emotions. It's to give them a higher purpose. Remember, every force within you, no matter how dark it seems, has the potential to create something extraordinary. At this point, you might be wondering, what happens when I master these forces? What does it actually feel like to be godlike? The answer is paradoxical. On one hand, you'll feel an immense sense of power, like you can shape your destiny and influence the world around you. On the other hand, you'll feel a profound humility. You'll realize that your power isn't just yours, it's part of something much greater. This balance of power and humility is what separates gods from tyrants. As we prepare to move into the final part of this journey, I want to leave you with one question to reflect on. If you could channel all the energy within you, both light and shadow, toward one purpose, what would that purpose be? Take your time with this. The answer could change everything. Now that you've begun to channel the energy of both light and shadow and aligned it with a higher purpose, it's time to take the final step, living as a creator beyond limits. This is where mastery turns into transcendence. It's no longer just about controlling or harnessing power. It's about embodying it so fully that your very presence reshapes the world around you. But let's start with a simple yet profound question. What does it mean to live without limits? Most people assume it's about achieving ultimate freedom or having no obstacles. But here's the truth: limits don't disappear, they transform. To be godlike doesn't mean escaping challenges, it means approaching them with such creativity, courage, and wisdom that they cease to hold you back. The limits you once saw as walls become stepping stones. Think of life as a canvas. Every thought, action, and choice is a brushstroke. A godlike being doesn't just react to the world they created. And creation isn't just about adding more sometimes. It's about removing what doesn't serve the masterpiece. This requires a new level of clarity, one that comes from deep self-awareness. Let's dive deeper into this idea of clarity. To ascend into this state, you must cultivate detachment. Now, detachment doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It means letting go of the need to control outcomes. Think of the most powerful creators throughout history: visionaries, artists, leaders. They were deeply committed to their purpose, but they also understood that creation is a process of surrendering to the unknown. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that's keeping me from stepping into my full potential? It could be fear of failure, attachment to old identities, or even the comfort of the familiar. Whatever it is, recognize that holding on to these things is like trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy load. To ascend, you must let go. Here's a practical exercise. Take a moment to list the things in your life that you feel tied to, whether it's an expectation, a belief, or a material attachment. For each item, ask, does this serve my highest purpose? If the answer is no, visualize yourself setting it down, leaving it behind as you climb higher. This act of letting go brings us to the next key element of living as a creator presence. When you're fully present in the moment, you're not trapped by the past or paralyzed by the future. You're free to shape reality as it unfolds. This is what gives a godlike being their aura of calm strength. They aren't reacting to life, they're flowing with it, guiding it. Here's where it gets profound. To truly live in the present, you must learn to trust yourself completely. Think about it. How often do you second-guess your instincts or let doubt cloud your decisions? To embody a godlike state, you need to cultivate an unshakable inner trust. This doesn't mean you'll always make the right choice in every situation. It means you'll have the courage to act, adapt, and learn, knowing that every experience is part of your growth. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what would my life look like if I trusted myself completely? Imagine the risks you'd take, the boundaries you'd break, and the freedom you'd feel. This trust is the key to unlocking your creative potential. Now, let's talk about the ultimate goal of this journey: becoming a force of transformation in the world. True godlike beings don't just elevate themselves, they elevate others. This is where the interplay of power and humility comes into full focus. When you've mastered your inner forces, your actions naturally inspire and uplift those around you. Your presence becomes a catalyst for change, not through domination, but through resonance. Think of it like this: every person you encounter is carrying their own shadow, their own chaos. By embodying your mastery, you become a mirror, reflecting their potential back to them. But this requires compassion. It's not enough to show strength, you must also show understanding. After all, you've walked the path of chaos and transformation yourself. You know what it feels like to struggle, to doubt, to fall. And because of that, you can guide others with both wisdom and empathy. Here's a powerful practice: the next time someone challenges you, whether through conflict, misunderstanding, or negativity, pause. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, what part of their shadow am I seeing? How can I respond in a way that helps them without losing my own center? This isn't about fixing others or becoming a martyr. It's about holding space for transformation. As you live this way, something incredible happens. You stop seeing the world as separate from yourself. You realize that every interaction, every challenge, every moment is an extension of your own creation. This is the ultimate secret to controlling evil and becoming godlike. You transcend the illusion of duality. Good and evil, creation and destruction, self and other, they all dissolve into a unified whole. But here's the twist: this realization isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new cycle. Because to be godlike isn't to achieve some final state of perfection. It's to embrace the eternal dance of growth, challenge, and creation. Every moment is an opportunity to evolve, to deepen your mastery, and to contribute to the infinite tapestry of existence. So now, as we bring this journey to a close, I leave you with one final question. What kind of godlike being will you choose to become? Will you use your power to create beauty, to heal, to inspire? Or will you let it lie dormant, buried beneath fear and doubt? The choice is yours. And whatever you choose, remember this: the power to shape your destiny, to transcend limits, to embody divinity has always been within you. It's time to awaken it.